use the bathroom in some of your favorite places in San Diego, pretty soon you might not be able to. I have more on the mayor's proposed budget cuts and which bathrooms could be closing.
The search is on for thieves who slammed an SUV into this business. They stole expensive glasses and destroyed an exotic fish tank.
A new survey sheds light on how some people may perceive Asian Americans. We'll tell you what that research reveals.
A new study says it could take 29 years to save up enough money to buy a house in San Diego. We'll talk to an economist to get some answers.
Longtime police officer turned jellyologist. We meet the owner of the Jelly Bear Jelly Company.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
We begin tonight with a proposal that could make it more difficult to find a public restroom at some of San Diego's most popular tourist attractions. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
And I'm Anna Laurel in for Carlo Cicchetto. The move to close bathrooms is meant to save the city money amid a severe budget deficit. The proposal would close several restrooms and cut jobs for those who maintain them.
CBS 8's Alex Cheney joins us live with more on why some feel city leaders are being short-sighted. Alex?
Marcella and Anna, that's right. The mayor's proposed budget would close public restrooms just like this one in Mission Bay. But I spoke to a professor with San Diego State University today who told me that the money saved from closing these bathrooms is not worth the health risk to the public.
To invest more in these basic facilities, not less.
Megan Welsh Carroll is the co-founder of the Project for Sanitation Justice in San Diego. She says closing even one public restroom would hurt the entire city and tourists who come to visit.
This is going to be bad for public and individual health and basic dignity.
Of the city's projected $258 million budget shortfall, the city says it expects to save around $1.6 million by closing a selection of public bathrooms and cutting 13 full-time jobs for custodians. Carroll says the smaller savings isn't worth the greater public health risk.
The amount of money that's being saved by cutting public bathrooms and the workforce needed to maintain it is really a drop in the bucket. I don't think that it's good, responsible city management.
The city tells us the restroom closures would include 13 in Mission Bay Park, 5 along the shoreline parks, including Kellogg Park, 7 in Balboa Park, and the Gaslamp Square restroom. Ben Cartwright from the city of San Diego said in a statement, the reduction of comfort station and restroom locations is a way to balance the real budgetary needs of the department.
San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria will announce his final budget proposal on May 14th. Reporting live from Mission Bay, I'm Alex Cheney, CBS 8.
Thank you, Alex. San Diego County supervisors rejected a proposal today that would have let them tap into the county's reserve funds to prevent cuts to services being threatened by a budget crunch. Supervisors Tara Lawson-Remer and Monica Montgomery Stepp introduced the proposal to safeguard public health, housing, and vital care systems. They were citing budget cuts at the state and federal level. However, Supervisor Jim Desmond opposed to using the county's safety net, and Joel Anderson abstained.
New tonight, Scripps Health says it reached the final terms of an agreement with Anthem Blue Cross.
That means effective immediately, the healthcare system is once again a provider within the Anthem network. Their previous contract expired at the end of last year. The two had several months of failed negotiations, during which time thousands of patients were left to either find a new doctor or pay out-of-network prices for their care. But now that will be covered as in-network.
An optometry store in La Jolla is cleaned up tonight after thieves smashed through the front door of the store with an SUV and stole expensive frames. Not only that, the thieves shattered the store's aquarium where a popular pufferfish named Norman lived for nearly a decade. The owner found Norman on the floor an hour after the break-in, struggling to survive. Coming up in our next half hour, CBS 8's Steve Price will have the surveillance video and how the owner says it's not the first time the store has been hit. Tonight, we're learning 5 people are charged with human smuggling after a boat capsized yesterday near Torrey Pines. At least 3 people were killed, including a 14-year-old boy from India. His 10-year-old sister was on the boat, and she's missing. 4 others were rescued and hospitalized, including the boy's parents. His father is in a coma. Authorities say 2 Mexican nationals were arrested at the beach and charged with bringing in aliens resulting in death. Last night, Border Patrol agents in Chula Vista found 8 of the missing migrants, with the exception of the 10-year-old girl. Agents arrested 3 more people. Homeland Security continues to investigate. A new national survey highlights how some Americans perceive the Asian American, Native, Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities.
The research reveals that while these communities contribute significantly to the country, many still face widespread misunderstanding, invisibility, and even distrust. CBS 8's Brian White is live downtown with the latest details. Brian?
The Asian American Foundation surveyed nearly 5,000 people across the U.S. looking to understand more about how these communities are viewed, and what they found highlights certain perceptions and stereotypes. The Asian American Foundation just released results from their annual survey. 40% of those who were polled said they think Asian Americans are more loyal to their country of origin than the U.S.
I don't see how that could be true when the people around me, the people that raised me, I see them here, that their allegiance is here in the United States.
Joanne Fields is Government and Public Relations Director for the Asian Pacific Islander Initiative. She sees a lot of patriotism and pride for this country within her community.
I don't feel that we have a community that's us and them. It's all of us. We're neighbors. We celebrate. We don't lose our culture and history because now we reside here.
Another key point from the survey is that 1 in 4 respondents said they're at least somewhat concerned that Chinese Americans are a threat to U.S. society, especially when it comes to national security. And a third takeaway is on the topic of internment camps, looking back on how nearly 120,000 Japanese Americans were forcibly relocated to these camps during World War II. The report found that only half of those surveyed strongly agreed that it was wrong to do this, and that 15% either strongly or somewhat disagreed that the camps were a bad idea at that time.
To imagine being taken away from your home that you know, your family business being left behind, and just not knowing what will happen the next day, I'm sure was very scary.
Now, the goal for the foundation moving forward is to increase awareness and education to help dispel some of these perceptions. If you'd like to see the full survey results, just head to CBS8.com. Marcel and Anna, back to you.
Thanks so much, Brian. A new report shows San Diego County's fight against gun violence is yielding results. Gun-related homicides have dropped 22% since 2020. Suicides are down 19% from last year, and ghost gun recoveries fell by 39%, the steepest single-year decline in 5 years. Officials credit local bans, storage laws, and legal action against manufacturers. And county leaders are continuing to expand violence prevention programs, including hospital interventions and community outreach in high-risk neighborhoods. Putting 20% down to buy a house and not spending more than 30% of your income on housing was the game plan in the past for home buyers.
Yeah, but those numbers, they're not working anymore in San Diego. CBS 8's David Gottfredson shows us how our paradise comes at a price.
Housing is just really expensive in San Diego, and it's a serious problem for households.
With the median home price in San Diego County hovering around $900,000, it may take up to 29 years to save up enough money for a down payment, according to a new study by the credit firm Upgraded Points. Another recent study by Realtor.com says San Diego is the 4th most expensive market in the nation, meaning you would have to make more than $258,000 per year to afford a median-priced house.
That is what it costs to buy the median-priced home in San Diego.
USD economics professor Alan Jin says first-time buyers can always take aim at lower-priced homes or condos, making payments more affordable.
You know, that's the traditional way that people have navigated the housing market. They started off low, with a low-cost house, and they built up equity and traded up.
In coastal cities like San Diego, Jen says, moving up the chain makes sense.
I'm pretty confident that if you buy property in San Diego or other parts of coastal California, in the long term, it's going to be higher in terms of prices. Again, people want to live here.
The traditional formula to home buying was to put 20% down to avoid private mortgage insurance costs and to keep your mortgage payments around 30% of your income. But that's becoming more difficult.
In a high housing cost area like San Diego, you might have to exceed that 30% guideline.
Jin says another option is to rely on your parents.
Increasingly, people are holding on to their homes with the idea that they're going to leave them to their kids. And that might be the only way then that their kids are going to be able to afford to live in a place like San Diego.
The other thing that can make housing more affordable is lower interest rates, currently around 7% for a 30-year mortgage. That economist tells me it's possible interest rates could go down later this year, but it's hard to predict the economy. David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
And we had a story in our 4 o'clock hour about how you need to make $259,000 to even get a house.
Think about buying a home.
That's hard to believe. Well, tonight, charges are officially filed against another San Diego customs officer accused of taking bribes to let undocumented migrants into the country.
We'll have those details still ahead. Plus, mixed feelings from cargo truckers as Southern California ports start to feel the impact of President Trump's tariffs.
And a new festival kicks off here in San Diego.
Temperatures kind of chilly today in San Diego. I mean, almost downright cold. The good news is much, much warmer weather is on the way. I'm meteorologist Sean Stiles with your forecast.